Today we are working on programming challenge 16 in chapter 7, and this programming challenge is to work on a two-dimensional array. So basically what we have to do is to get the total of the numbers in the 2D array, the average of the 2D array, and also we have to calculate the total of the rows and the columns and the highest and the lowest of the row. So let's start creating the class. You'll say 2D array operations. They also said in the book, the programming challenge description, they said all the methods has to be static. So we'll do that. We'll say double getTotal. It will take a 2D array. So we have to create a double total for int I 0 less than array depth length. Then you have to say for int j 0 j less than array of I depth length. J is incremented by 1 each time, and we have to add the total to the array. Then we have to return the total. Then we will copy this and we will say getAverage. The only thing we add is to create double counter 0 here, and we will add underneath the total we will say counter plus plus, and in the return statement we will say counter. Then we will say based, we will say get row total. So it will take an array and it will take the index of the row. So we will say int temp array of index, and the total will be there. So we have to go through the temp. We don't need a inner for loop. We'll say total plus equal to temp of I of index. What is the problem? I will say a temp of I, sorry, and then it will return the total. So we'll just copy this. So this one we have to calculate the column total. So we don't need this, and we will say array, and we just say array of I of index, and after that we say we also paste again. We say get highest in a row. So instead of total, we will say max, and max will start with temp, the 0 position, and we will say, instead of writing this long, we will say num equal temp, and it will say if num is greater than max equal num, and we will return max. We will copy one more time to display the opposite of this. We will say get lowest in row. So the only difference would be here, less than, we'll say min, it will be min. So I think we are done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the programming challenge description, they said we have to also create overloaded versions of each method by creating double, float, and long. But I think if I cover that, it will take a long time. And it's not that difficult for you to come up with those methods. All you have to do is to change the data type. Instead of int, you would write double or float or long. So it's not that difficult. So let's create a main method. Main method to test this class. What we need is a main method as well, a main class in a main method. The first thing we have to do is to create a 2D array. This 2D array will have 2 rows. The first row would contain this, and the second row will contain this. So what we would do is we have to display the total of the array, and all we have to do is to the array getTotal, and it will take the array. And the reason I'm not instantiating this class that we created is because the methods that we need are static. So I don't need to instantiate it because they are created at the same time as we create the class. They don't need an instance of the class in order to access them. So we'll say average to the get array. We also need a total row. We need a new line before it. To the array get row total. It will take array and it will take the row index. If you want to calculate the total of the first row, we will pass on 0 because computers start counting from 0 to up. And next we have to say total column. We'll say to the array get column total. You take array and 0 for the row. It will say highest in a row. To the array and 0. We want to find out the highest number in the first row. and we will say lowest in row to the array get lowest, and we will say array and 0 for the index. Let's run the program and see how we do it, how we did it for our classes. As you can see, they said the total is 155, average is 17.2, 2222. The total for the first row is 15. The column, the first column is 21, and the highest for the first row is 5, and the lowest is 1. So let's check for each item in this display. The total are all the numbers in the 2D array total to 155. Let's count. The first row, there is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. 14 plus 1 is 15. So the first row is 15. The second row has 20 plus 30 is 50. 50 plus 40 is 90. 90 plus 50 is 140. 140 plus 15 is indeed 155. When you divide 155 by the number of all the numbers, we have 9 elements. The first row has 5 elements, and the second row has 4 elements. So I'm sure if you divide 155 by 9, you would get 17.2. And the total row, the first row, they said is 15, and it is correct because 5 plus 4 plus 3 is 12. 12 plus 2 plus 1 is 15. The column total is 21. That is correct because 20, this is the first column, and 20 plus 1 is 21. So this is correct. The highest in the first row is 5. That is also correct because 5 is the largest in this first row. And lastly, the lowest in the row is 1 for the first row. That's correct as well. Let's change a bit and see if it is working. Let's change to second row or second column for each of these. So the numbers should be different. Obviously, the total does not change. It is still 155. The average does not change because there is still 9 elements. We haven't changed the numbers. But the total, the rows have changed. Now we are calculating the total of the second row, which they said is 140, because 20 plus 30 is 50, 50 plus 40 is 90, 90 plus 50 is 140. The total of the column also changed. So we are in this column, the first index or the second column, and when you add 30 plus 2 is 32, as you can see here. The highest in the row is 50 and the lowest is 20. As you can see, the highest is 50 and the lowest is 20. Like even if we change it, let's say we change this 30 to 1200. If we run it again, this would be the highest and this would be the lowest. Let's run it again. As you can see, this is the highest in the row, 1200, and the column total also change, because when you add 2 to 1200, it would be 1202 or 1202. So I think we fulfilled all the requirements for this programming challenge in the book Starting Out with Java, Chapter 7, Programming Challenge 16. So thank you for watching, and I will see you for the next one.